And we are capable of doing it because we are intellectually quite fertile enough and we have got professionals. But unfortunately, these professionals don't get deployed because they are not considered as a part of the system. They're considered as something which is more superficial or more superfluous. Similarly, the features which have to be inbuilt for tracking, for securing, for alerting, and these softwares for preventing, they are not anymore any superficial or superfluous. They are much essential, fundamental, and an integral part of our survival system in case it is to come place in these days to come. Particularly because if we want to have the GDP at our 8%, 9% more, or we want to secure our infrastructure to boost up our economy, to see that our entire new game plans are not foiled by people or are not disturbed by this kind of things, probably we have to be alert in every respect. You know that famous nuclear installation in Japan did not work because of the infective software which did not allow the nuclear reactor to start. And they found that what was wrong in the system. They found out that some kind of infiltration of this infective software in some nuclear installation in Japan was the reason why the nuclear, and they found it out. They had to engage experts to find it out. They spent more money in doing it, but instead of doing it as a last minute measure, a contingency drive, let us make it as a compulsory drive to see to it that all these kinds of nonsensical things which are probably happening are all taken off. So far as the defense mechanism in the state police is concerned, I would like to mention here that we have made a gentle attempt to go ahead with this kind of CSK Cyber Suraksha Kabach of educating, empowering, capacity building of people who mean to investigate, were meant for investigation, were meant to detect, and also for educating and alerting. I remember a few days before, a year before, when any kind of nasty or pornographic things which were shown in MMS about a girl, she used to hide it from her parents. There was no complaint system. And all kinds of, extortion used to take place. Blackmailing was taking place, including there are certain situations where she used to lose her life also. These kinds of things this is also part of cyber misuse. Cyber does not only mean cyber warfare. It's cyber terrorism, cyber misuse, cyber abuse, any kind which is done in the cyberspace by template, by raw words, by postures, by pictures, by messaging, it itself to be a part of our domain control. And we started with an advocacy campaign that all girls, we are here to help you out. You should not shy away. Don't shield yourself from out of them. Please come to us. We will be able to take it as a matter of fact, a routine application, and we would be able to find out who is that, and we would be able to detect, and we will be able to take care under the Cyber Act, IPC Act, and all these kinds of harassment has probably stopped in the university areas, in few universities there. And I am very happy that the women, they have come forward. Our advocacy campaign has saved their some kind of a modesty from being exposed. They are quite open. They do not mind coming. And this mind-boggling game of not coming, shielding, having privacy issues, and let's take advantage of it has been exposed. That is the thing which we wanted to attack in this kind of a campaign. As you friends know, the WhatsApp now has become a site which has now may pose threats in terms of the communal disturbance. Our police officer who was here, he was mentioning, I have found out, I will not mention where it has happened, in the recent communal riots which happened in few states. The thing which added insult to injury and worked as the last matchstick was all kinds of dirty campaigns in the WhatsApp. And these kind of campaigns, probably I don't know whether they found it or not, but its origin, its ramification, and its devastation has to be more dealt into than catching the physical crime, the fellows who have indulged in crimes. They might be the infantry, but the people who are the brigadiers, the people who are the war room heroes, are some other different people. The Section 70B of the Information Technology Amendment 2008 has been a welcome feature in days to come for us, but certain other amendments which Dr. GulshanRai would be talking of are very much essential, and the country has to find time. The leaders have to find time, and all company heads, HODs, MDs, chairmen have to now roll up their socks, pull up their socks, and they have to come to a common meeting point of an unanimity that there is a need, we need to respond to the need, we need to come out with the SOPs to meet with this need. Like I told you, when you open the gates, any stray dog can come in, any person can attack. So you always lock yourself, then you go out. The simple things like locking the password, changing the password, curing the privacy settings, mixing up with the email settings of the bankings with the Twitters. These small things probably are known to you, all of you, but not to people at large. And there is a need to take up, like we take up the Sarva Shikshan Abhiyan campaign in the education, like we take up the family planning campaign in the health industry. Now it's high time that we have to take up this campaign because the literacy of the cyber literacy is increasing. But the rate of employment of the cyber people at the cutting edge level is very dismally poor. The number of people who are engaged for securitization of the systems and for logistics and networks, as well as for the anti-piracy or espionage or what you call the hacking anti-hackers, is abysmally poor. We have got a competent lot of people who are getting graduations. We have got a lot of people to be absorbed and to be put in our systems. They can be fundamentally more loyal to the systems to work. And it's high time that we have to absorb them, to train them, to orient them, and also for the companies to come up to this point of rescue. And we need to come up with these amendments at the legal and the instrumental way. The legalities of the amendments would also help us to take care of it, but it's a continuous process. Like we do research in our campus, there the cyber attackers, the cyber terrorists, they are going to be doing they do their research every day, more than us. And therefore, days are not far off when we say that the World War III, if it is to happen, then it will not be fought with guns or tanks, it will be fought in cyberspace, which will emerge as the fifth dimension other than the air, ground, sea, and the space. And we will not know as of today who is the victim of the attack, but we have to know who is behind the attack and what is the next target. It is not cyber war alone, it is cyber conspiracy, cyber envy, country envy, political espionage, cyber terrorism, and it is just the beginning of the game which has started. And now this platform, which has united all of us to think, to prepare, to alert, and to come up, we must come out with the question, how do we make our cyberspace secure, and what we should do to also make our citizens intelligent and alert enough to cope up with the crisis that is not now on for surface, but very much looming and blooming up. And I think this is a time when amendments in law, political leadership, and the political will, all of you here, the universities, the research organization, the NASOCAM, the DRDO, and the cyber intelligence wing of the Ministry of IT. They are all one composite member, one family to deal with this thing, and I'm sure we have always lived up to occasions, and I'm sure we would be able to do it further better. I was invited to this forum to speak. I had a presentation which is now a property of the forum. I thought of giving the Gujarat experience, but I thought I would miss out on speaking from the heart, which probably would not be seen because the presentation will only speak of the head. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Nanda, for sharing various issues that cybersecurity needs to deal with and also giving us due examples. To thank you and to appreciate your presence and to accept our invite, I'd like to invite on stage Professor PBSharma, Vice Chancellor, DTU. So may I please request you to join us on stage and present Dr. Nanda with a token of appreciation. Dr. Nanda, may I request you to please join us on stage once again and accept our humble appreciation, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for the gentleman. Thank you so very much, Dr. Nanda. I'd like to request Professor Sharma to please stay on and share a few words with the audience.
The luminaries of the cyber power of India, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a matter of great privilege and honor for me to be here with you this morning, especially that we are all together to address this monumental problem of cyber security unleashed by the power of connectivity, by the power of technology. Coming from a technological university, I have the task to ensure that the technology advances almost every minute, every day, and reaches to the altars of excellence for which human mind is capable of. We have come a long way in the advancement of technology, and accordingly we have certainly created tremendous amount of threat for us as well. While we are part of a connected world at the moment, the knowledge and info power has enabled everybody now to access the vital information from anywhere and make its use or misuse depending upon one's capabilities. It's indeed tough time for all of us to imagine what kind of future lies ahead. I'm imagining that age when you will have electricity transmission without power. You will have your cars driven by the power of a chip rather than the fuels with which you currently drive them. You will have your cars reaching to your destinations with the kind of navigation systems which are being worked out. Now, if all that happens, you will be empowered with tremendous amount of knowledge and information power. But then the info and cyber threats associated with it also need to be addressed. In a university like mine, I find that the students are highly capable to cripple the vice chancellor. They often change the info codes of my information kiosk, and I find it very difficult to revert back to what I have loaded there. They are highly capable because the human mind can certainly perform miracles of the kind for which human beings are born. Ladies and gentlemen, days are not far off when the advancement of connectivity will lead you to a horizon where mind-to-mind connectivity would become a reality. At that point, it would be absolutely essential for us to understand the importance of human behavior. While we address the challenges of technology in the Ground Zero Summit, for which we have assembled here, it would also be important for us to prepare our society and its behavior, the behavior of people, to understand the importance of remaining connected and yet behaving and performing in a manner to create the least problem for ourselves and to the society. We need to take this message to the minds of our own people that whatever they communicate, they are responsible for what they write. The social media, while it gives you freedom infinite, it also charges you with tremendous amount of responsibility. Unfortunately, we often run short in our words to communicate this vital and very important message to our people. Therefore, at the University of Technology, Delhi Technological University, it would be our desire to work with you, to collaborate with you, and to strengthen your resolve to prepare our nation to be not only a secure nation, but a nation whose conduct and behavior of people reflects the true concern for the welfare of our people and humanity at large. In this endeavor, ladies and gentlemen, Delhi Technological University would feel highly privileged to work with National Data Center to strengthen your resolve and even run programs jointly with you for building the vital capacity for creating the necessary cyber security power of this great nation. We shall not run short in our willingness even to join hands with you to run one-year fellowship program for national security, where cyber security, of course, will be holding a very important agenda in this program. And we shall also partner with you some of the technological advances which will pose the serious threats both for the human society as well as for the world at large. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, may I express my profound happiness in being part of this great summit organized for the benefit of our great nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Professor Sharma, for sharing your futuristic vision with us, of course, in place with our cybersecurity. And moving forward, I'm now about to invite one man who all of us connected to cybersecurity and the world around know very, very well. Yes, he's someone who Dr. Nanda referred to in his speech a lot. Yes, our next keynote speaker is none other than Dr. GulshanRai, Director General, Certain Government of India, a very well-known cybersecurity official at the helm of affairs at the national level. He wears multiple hats and has been the main architect behind the national cybersecurity. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Sir.
Justice B.P. Singh, Mr. S.K. Nanda, Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Gujarat, Mr. Dr. S.D. Pradhan, Professor PBSharma, Dr. M.S. Vijayaraghavan, my close friend, Mr. Muktesh Chandra, Alok, Shantanu, and friends. When Alok was trying to invite me long time back, I was in double mind whether I should come there, I should not go there, because the legacy and the image I carry. But it's I must compliment the organizer. It has been organized in such a manner that one feels very happy to come here, not only to share your thoughts, listen that, and also meets your old friends, which normally in day-to-day work, you don't tend to meet them. Friends, a lot of things has been said. Muktesh, when I came, Muktesh was speaking. He said he raised the issues. Mr. Nanda raised full of knowledge. He raised many practical issues, operational issues, which he faced day to day. And Professor Sharma raised the issues from the academic point of view, what Delhi Technical University is trying to do. We are in an era which is far more different than what we have seen in the past. I remember my old days, college days. How do we used to handle the systems? How do we start it there, and what problem we faced? In 1988 or 89, there was issue of some certain virus on the MS-DOS, that time version 3.11, and whole lot of furore was made in the parliament, and there was a committee was set up. I was also a part of the committee there. We went around place to place, and we took some time to find some solution there. That was the thing when we were dealing with only the viruses part. But today, if you look at it, how the cyber technology has progressed, we are using this. It has turned out to be, as Mr. Nanda said, it has turned out to be a fifth domain today, which is influencing our activity on a day-to-day basis there. Who could have thought making the transactions, banking transaction from home, booking the railway ticket in the midnight, or dealing with the shares. And I do remember when I went to along with the CMC in 1980s, 87, 88, there was a proposal to computerize the Bombay Stock Exchange, and we went there. How I saw the trading happens in the well for almost 2 hours, how the people were shouting and how people were acting. And what we see today, how do we do trading is totally different. Healthcare. So the technology has brought many, many benefits to our society, to each one of us. Each one of us is trying to handle the technology on a day-to-day basis, be it the mobile phone, be it downloading the music or anything. Anything we want to see, look at it, we just go to the web and try to search the information and we get more knowledgeable. Now this technology has brought so much benefit to us, it has a potential to misuse also. Because of the very nature of the technology, that's a listing of programs, and you change one line of the program, you can make the entire thing to do in a manner different than what it intends to. And this part of the dual use of technology, which is really becoming a cause of a concern, that we have this seminar of Ground Zero and many more activities. This technology is being used by everyone against everyone. I must say that. I mean, some people may or may not agree, but this is a fact there. Nations are using against nations. Companies are using to spy on other companies there. And individuals are trying to use this technology to create issues for the other. So that you have the vigilance complaint using the servers, and the Tor server, which is called the hidden server, has become so famous, so common, that people are using the Tor servers to raise this complaint, CVC complaints against the people there. RTA applications are being used, being filed to the hidden servers or to such systems who are filing that. So that's a misuse of this technology which has happened because of the inherent nature of technology. Now what future we see? What we see is that until and unless we know how to safeguard our technology, how to safeguard its usage, and I'm sure things could be different in terms of its potential or the useful usage also. Shantanu sitting here about a year and a half ago, we met, and he was quoting a study there, Australian study there, where the use of internet came down by almost by 2% in a year. And that trend may come up, may not be today, but may come up after some time if we are not able to check, if we are not able to find a solution, or we are not able to come to some understanding how do we use and how do we prevent to misuse of this technology. That's become a very, very important aspect there. The technology is becoming more and more sophisticated. You get new mobile phones, and the features are very, very complex. It takes some time to understand the feature, and by the time you get a new phone, you have not even understood the features of the phone which you have been using for 2 years. And no technology you can use it for more than 2 or 3 years maximum. Your mind start rejecting the technology. That's the position today. Now, this advancement in technology has given advancement in terms of the misuse also there. So many sophisticated tools are available on the web. The younger generation is very focused than the generation of mine or many others here. They use those tools and try to find a different adverse uses there. And this trend will continue. Muktesh talked about some of the crimes there. Stuxnet, what we saw in the iFlame, it was totally much different. The code of the Stuxnet, and if you compare the code of the Flame and thereafter, you find a lot of difference there. It's a matter of 1.5 years, or maximum 2 years there. The Stuxnet code was occupying a space of somewhere around megabytes per second, whereas the iFlame was in terms of kilobytes per second. And thereafter, whole aspects have come up. Today we are moving an era where everyone wants to develop an app or download an app from wherever she doesn't know from where to do that, and that's the problem is coming up there. So sophistication of the technology is increasing because of the technology is getting more and more sophisticated. How do we find a solution there? Yes, Mr. Muktesh mentioned about the cyber security policy, and so is the Dr. Nanda also mentioned about it there. But is that the strategy? Is that the thing which makes in the government or in the public that this is sufficient? Mere putting a policy or mere announcing certain action plan does not take us anywhere. It's a great challenge before us. And how do we handle the challenge? Technology may or may not be answer. To me, from my experience, the technology can give you only 15 to 20%. Actually, it's the way we have to deal in a manner the way technology is progressing it. We can't think that this subject to be dealt in a way physical thinking process there. Certainly not. I don't know, Dr. Nanda mentioned about the amendment in IT Act or the rules there, but whether we will be able to bring about amendment in the legislation, any legislation, whether in India or elsewhere in the other else part of the world, so frequently, so dynamically as the technology is moving it. Actually, it's the process. He did mention about the process there. It's a process which needs to be looked in, and one of the part of the process is the strategy. How do we collaborate? How do we cooperate among each other? I deal with the defensive part. Yes, people talk about a lot of interest people outside country are taking, a lot of other countries are taking what India is trying to do in terms of the offensive activity. We came out with a figure of 500,000 people we need in the cyber security area, and whole lot of the lobbying started, people started doing that, how they're training, are they training their people like a Chinese for the offensive activity. That's kind of a thing went on from outside, because outside people, they want to use this technology for against another country in a destructive manner. But that is not the trend which we think it, and which Dr. Nanda mentioned in his speech there. We don't have a mindset, we don't have a culture to be offensive towards others. We don't have a culture, and that culture will get reflected in our cyber aspects also. But that, nevertheless, we need to prepare ourselves to handle the defense, what we see within the country and outside the country. As I said, I deal with the defense portion there, and I find this forum as a very, very useful forum, very, very useful opportunity for me, that I call upon you that the incident sharing, the information sharing is far most important if we really have to prepare our defense. If we have to protect our systems, the information sharing is very, very important. Large number of young people, young engineers, young professionals are over here. They have been observing the incidents day and night, different incidents there. No incidents happen all of a sudden there. No incidents happen. And Dr. Nanda mentioned the case of a blood donation there. He mentioned 60 days. Similar part is in the cyber security and cyber attacks also there. The whole incident starts with a reconnaissance. They try to look at what systems you have, what software you have. They wait for time there. And every incident mature in 3-month cycle there. This is my experience, which I have seen for the last so many years there. He mentioned 60 days. So here, it's not a 60 days, it may be 90 days or 60 to 90 days there. They watch your systems, watch your habit, watch what kind of a software you are using it, and then they penetrate in attacks. Many of the attacks incidents which appear to be very, very simple, we go unnoticed, but they turn out to be very, very complex. And one of the incidents which happened, which India also, some part affected there was that lot of $45 million withdrawn from the banking ATMs, rest of the world there. Happened over a period of 3 to 4 months there. So he was a right example of blood donation. Here the young people, young scientists, all of you people are here. You observe so many incidents. Kindly share those incidents. Whosoever you feel you want a nodal person, whether you share with us or we share with NTRO, we share with NCI-IPC, anyone you share, that's a far more important in the defense systems there. If we have our defense is perfect, if defense is better, or we are able to improve our defense, I am sure no matter whatsoever vulnerabilities you see or whatsoever attacks are happening from across the other countries, we will be able to withstand it. I won't name the country. There is a myth that some particular country is attacking more, but that's, to me, it appeared to be not more a myth than the reality. There are many other countries which are participating and attacking. Every country has its own